Hi boys and girls, today you're going to do a project in Scratch Junior. If you weren't at Walker School last year and are not familiar with Scratch Junior, at the end of this lesson, I'll let you know when I'm going to do a quick introduction to it. But here's just an example, a picture of a finished project. You are going to create a maze for the Scratch Cat to maneuver through, or any character that you choose. So I'm just going to walk you through quickly how to do that, and then you will have about an hour to work on this in class. So what you'll want to do is open up Scratch Junior. The first time you open up, you may need to choose whether you are using this at school or home. So make sure you choose school and then tap the home button. And then remember, to start a new project, you tap the plus sign. So the first part of your work, you need to create your background. So at the top of your stage, right next to the circle with the ABC, is the area to create your background, and then you are going to be creating your own. So on the left-hand side at the top, you're going to tap that blank white space, and then the paint editor. Remember, that's the paintbrush here at the top. So first things first, tap on the paint bucket and choose a nice background color. Then on the left-hand side over here, you have the different shapes and things that you can draw. So there's circle, square, triangle, and you'll remember in that picture example, there was a variety of those shapes. So you're going to add some shapes. First, start with a circle, and that will be the stop place. So I'm going to do my circle down here. So that will be the end, and I'm going to tap on the paint bucket to fill it. And then I'm going to do another circle, which will be green. I'm going to put it in this corner. Wherever you choose to have your start and stopping points is totally up to you. I'm just going to do it in these two corners. So now the rest is up to me. I need to design my maze. So colors don't matter. It's totally up to you. But start to experiment with designing some different obstacles for your character to go around. Remember, some of these tools on the right-hand side can be very useful. So the second one from the top with the two arrows, that allows you to turn and rotate your shape. So that is a nice feature here. And then a couple down, the stamp, if you tap on it, remember that duplicates it. So then you don't have to remake your shapes over and over. You can just make a couple and then kind of put them in the maze here. Now you can always come back and edit this. So if you lay out your maze and then you find that as you're trying to code your character through that something doesn't work, you can always come back and edit this. But I'm just going to throw a couple more things on here because you get the idea. So obviously the more shapes that you put, the more challenging it's going to be, but it will be a good challenge for you to code your character. So remember, when you're done, you just tap the check mark. So now this is my background. So you can keep the Scratch Cat as your character that you want going through your maze. If you don't want the Scratch Cat, remember on the left-hand side, if you tap the plus sign, you can choose other characters. So it really doesn't matter to me what you choose. I'm going to just click add the dog. And then remember, to delete characters, you hold your finger down on it till it wiggles, and you can tap the red X. Now, the dog is pretty big, so if you remember, the purple looks blocks has that shrink block. So if you drag that to your coding area and you just tap it, you can get your character down to a size that will work for the maze. I think I'm going to leave it pretty small, at least for me. All right, so now your job is to get your dog from start to finish while getting around the obstacles that you've made with your shapes. So use the blue looks blocks to figure out what direction and how this is going to work for you. Remember to start everything with a green flag. And you're just going to have to test and always reset your stage to make sure that you're getting your character to move the right amount that you want. So ideally, when you have your whole program, you're going to have one program here for the dog that when you press the green flag, he will go through your whole maze. So now I'm going to choose and have him go down. Let's see if 8 is too much. So now he kind of that was too much because he touched the triangle. So I'm going to redo this a little bit up. So maybe we're going to have to go down to 2. But you guys get the idea. So if you were a student here at Walker School last year and you are comfortable starting this project, you can stop this recording now. If you are new to Walker School, I'm just going to review with you what Scratch Junior is and what all these colorful blocks are. So Scratch Junior is a program that we can use to create different animations by coding. So on the left-hand side, you'll see here at the bottom different colored blocks. So the blue blocks are all motion blocks. So you have move right, move left, move up, move down. You can change the number under the motion block to make the character go that many times in that direction. You don't and shouldn't, if you want the character to say move right 4 times, you shouldn't do 4 move right blocks connected because that just makes the program long. You can drag blocks away by just dragging them up here. These are turn blocks. When you're programming the turn blocks, the numbers work a little differently. You have to think of the clock. So if I want my cat to make a full circle on a clock, a full circle goes from starting at the 12 and then all the way around back to the 12. So if you want your character to make a full circle, you would program it to move 12. If you wanted to make a half circle, and this would be standing on his head, it would look like that. So when you're programming for turns, think about that. This is the jump block. The number below the jump block is tricky. It does not make the cat or character jump that many times. Instead, it increases how high that jump is. So you can see right there, I changed it to 8, so it just made the cat jump higher. If you want the cat to jump multiple times, you would add that many blocks together. So those are the motion blocks. The purple looks blocks, you can have a character talk, you can make a character grow, you can make a character shrink. This block is nice because it'll make the character go back to its original size. This one will make a character disappear. This one will make your character reappear. So if you ever lose your character, a lot of times they'll just tell kids, go to the purple looks blocks, pull out the visible block, and tap it. And usually your character comes back. This is where you can add sound, but for this project you don't need that. In the orange blocks, here's a repeat loop. And so that one's really handy if you want the character to do something over and over again. And this block will repeat forever, so you can add that to a string of blocks. And this one just tells the program to stop. The yellow blocks are the trigger blocks, and this is how you get your character's program to start. I suggest always using a green flag, but there's also one where you can do start on tap. The right-hand side over here allows you to add multiple pages, again, for the project today that you're doing. You don't need multiple pages, so I'm just going to hold my finger down and delete them. Over here on the left-hand side, you can add characters, just like I showed earlier. There's characters, and there's also just different props that you can add. And then something that's kind of fun is the paint editor. So you can see my Scratch Cat is highlighted in yellow because that's who I'm coding with right now. But if I use the paint brush, I can go in and I can personalize my Scratch Cat and make it look however I want. So that's kind of the fun part of the paint editor. And you can use that same thing if you're adding backgrounds. Now today you're making your own background, but there's a lot of backgrounds and things you can add for other projects that you're doing. In the very right hand corner, this yellow tab, if you tap on it, it will allow you to name your project. So today everyone will name it Maze. Enjoy and have fun.